Good morning, good day to you, whatever time it is. It's good to see you. It's good to be here. We are back in the mix, baby. It's Scaretober time. It is Scaretober time. We're gonna kick it off today with some Fear 3 with our longtime community member and friendo Tinwin. We didn't get to play Fear 3 last year because we had some issues with it working on my PC. And shout out to our other longtime community member and buddy Pinky, who found a fix for it. So we have figured it out. We are going to start off where we left off last year and get some Fear 3 taken care of this year. Yeah, it should be some good stuff. We're going to do that. And I don't know, man. That's the play. We're going to do some news. We're going to play some Fear 3. Probably today and tomorrow we'll get Fear 3 taken care of, and then we'll jump into our Dead Space playthroughs. Going to play through the Dead Space series. I think by the time we get through all of that, we'll get into Scorn, which is releasing, we found out yesterday, a week early, so releasing on the 14th, I think they said at this point. And then we'll get into some Outlast, and we'll see what else we get into through the rest of the Scaretober month here. Cool. But it's good to see you guys. Hope everything is going well. Let's go ahead and do what we do. I'm going to pull this mic down just a bit. Hope everybody is well. Let's get in it. Cool. Let's go. That was the BPM OST, by the way. Yeah, great OST by an indie dev, and a great game by an indie dev too. Yeah, so go check that game out. BPM, bullets per minute. Fantastic game. If you like FPS games, roguelites, rhythm-based stuff, it's a mashup of all of that, and it's a fantastic game. I need to go back and play some more of it at some point. All right, let's see what we got. Also, I need you guys' help because I totally changed all of the audio stuff for the stream yesterday. I've done the very best I can to kind of test it on my own end, but if things seem off, too loud, or too soft, what have you, I need your feedback. So help me out. Help me figure out how to get things back adjusted to where it sounds good for you guys, okay? Again, take into consideration that I want to have audio adjusted to be at a good level, considering people hoping, under the assumption people have their audio set at somewhere between 50 to 70% on whatever device they're on. So help me out though. If anything seems too soft, too loud, give me some feedback and we'll adjust it, okay? Let's see what we got here. See what we got. We read about this yesterday. Stadia will be shutting down next year, and they are refunding purchases. We read about that yesterday. Check out yesterday's news segment. That would be September 30th edition if you didn't get to see it yesterday, okay? We read about this yesterday as well. Prime Gaming free games for October. We read that yesterday. Not going to dive back into it. 6 ways to push your Steam Deck beyond gaming. Interesting. Let's take a look at that. Yeah. First gaming Chromebook. But there's a catch. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, we've already read a few days ago about the Razer Handheld coming out. I think really what the big competitor it's going to have is going to be the Logitech Tencent handheld that is being developed. Um, so both of those handhelds are being promoted as primarily hardware for utilizing gaming on cloud services, whether it be like Nvidia GeForce Now or Xbox's cloud gaming service, what have you. So I think both that I don't think either one of those are really going to be a huge competitor to the Steam Deck. They're not going to uh, provide gaming the same way as like the Steam Deck does with giving you access to your Steam library necessarily. But as far as cloud gaming hardware, they'll probably do a solid job. We'll just have to wait until we get more feedback and testing benchmarks, things like that from these platforms as they come out, and we'll keep track of it. Yo, gamer, what's up, buddy? Yeah, sounds good, dude. Yeah, get that Java, man. Get that Java. Xbox Game Pass loses 10 games, adds new day one. Let's take a look at that. GameStop reportedly struggling to fulfill pre-orders for what? For games? Hmm. Okay. Yeah. GameStop's been a hot mess for a long time now, so we'll take a look. That is Factory meets Starship Troopers in an upcoming game. Let's see what that's about. I've already looked at the Prime Gaming stuff again. So if you're interested in what there is being offered for Prime Gaming, we touched on it in yesterday's news segment. So go check out September 30th edition of Video Gaming News on our YouTube channel. Okay. Activision slams Call of Duty cheat makers. Let's take a look at that. Assassin's Creed Anniversary Mega Bundle. Let's see what's going on there. Let's go ahead and pivot over into our other search real quick. See what we got. Microsoft has filed its case for Activision acquisition with the EU. Okay, let's take a quick peek at that. Warner Brothers could be working on creating video game devices for cars. Huh. Like, there aren't enough people out there that have issues paying attention to what they're doing while they're driving in the first place. Well, I mean, here's the deal, okay? There's a lot to consider in regards to that topic. First of all, like Tesla's doing the same thing, right? Tesla's incorporating Steam into their cars, right? Their vehicles, and I think here's the thing. It there people were like in an uproar about how Tesla already had some games that were still playable while the car was running and everything. Um, is it potentially dangerous? Yes, but there are other people in the car quite often, other than just the driver as well, right? So it gives people something to do. People love video games, and that's a whole nother thing to take a look at, right? Passengers in a vehicle being able to play games, which can also be distracting to the driver, right? So that's something to take into consideration. While at the same time, as we move further with technology, the closer we get to, driverless cars and things like that, and the more ingrained technology will be as an entertainment within vehicles to pass the time while we don't have to focus on driving. So there's a lot to take into consideration, but ultimately, whether video games are a part of the technology, with within the vehicle itself or not, people are already, taking their attention away by either playing games or texting or looking at social media or what have you. I mean, anytime you go drive anywhere, you look around, people are doing just absolutely absurd, asinine stuff on the roads because they're not paying attention. And you get up close to them and you see they're just like looking at their phone, And so whether it be video games or what, it's technology in general that is impeding people's ability to focus while driving. And I really don't think that there's any solution to it other than getting to the point of where people don't drive cars anymore. So, I don't know. It's technology in general. We're going to take a look at the best video games releasing in October as well. There's some pretty cool titles releasing this month. We hit on that a couple of days ago, so that's in the news segments on YouTube as well. Yeah, we've already talked about this too. Disney wanting two new Star Wars games every year. Um, am I surprised? No. Am I stoked? No. It's the same thing they're doing with every other piece of Star Wars. You know, in each segment of the entertainment industry, they're just polluting the crap out of it because there are a lot of Star Wars fans, and apparently, people just eat that stuff up. Whereas for me, I'm one of those individuals that I don't. It doesn't appeal to me as much whenever things are just constantly driven out in a specific type of a series or whatever. That's like I've talked about Assassin's Creed. They just had their 15-year anniversary for Assassin's Creed, and I was like, man, it seems like there's been a ton of Assassin's Creed games. So I looked it up, and sure enough, I mean, it had been, I think, if I got the numbers correct in my head, 12 main titles for Assassin's Creed at this point in 15 years, and 17 spinoffs. That's a lot. That's a lot in 15 years, And I mean, Star Wars is the same way. Whether you talk about, TV series or movies or video games, and it's just going to get worse and worse, because Disney's just like what it quite often feels to me is it's more of a when these companies get their hands on these kinds of titles with these huge fan bases, it's more about quantity over quality, right? So I don't understand how people can get hyped on the content anymore when it's just constantly polluted with more and more and more and more and more and more and more of it. It's really odd to me. As opposed to, a series where you get, a show every, once in a while, or, you get a game every 2 to 3 years or something like that. And you get, there's an amount of hype that can come along with that. and it's hard for me to see where it comes in, where it's just constantly throwing it in there. But people are obviously buying it up. So, 10 best horror games available on Xbox Series X and S. That is worth a look because it is October 1st, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Grand Theft Auto suffers a stunning blow as Netflix plots a what? An unlikely rise. What? We'll read that and see what's going on there. Hey, Cuphead is finally getting a physical release. Cool. We've already covered the Last of Us trailer as well. Uh, people are. It looks like they're doing a pretty good job with the Last of Us on HBO. From what the trailer it has exposed us to so far. $70 October edition to Nintendo Switch. Well, let's see what that's about. Phil Spencer confirms fan requested quick resume feature. Okay, let's see what's going on there. Again, Stadia is shutting down. We know. Activision compliance chief steps down ahead of the Microsoft deal. This Kotick, Bobby Kotick is the one that I think the majority of people really want to see ousted once this Microsoft purchase of Activision Blizzard happens. Yep. Cyberpunk has passed a major sales milestone. Take a look. There's been a lot of news about Cyberpunk here recently. They've had a pretty good go of it here recently, large in part due to their Edge Runners Netflix show that came out. God of War PC Studio, which is probably Santa Monica, right? Working on flagship PlayStation Live Service game. Yeah, we already hit on the Epic Games free games that are coming as well. Splatoon 3 update released. Patch notes revealed. Take a look at that. Has anybody played that yet? Anybody in the community? Ubisoft reveals Project U and opens signups for the first test. Let's take a look. Okay, let's do with that. We got a lot of articles. Let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. All right. So Cuphead is finally getting a physical release after 5 years. 4 million digital copies sold, countless awards, and one hit Netflix TV adaptation. Looks like Cuphead will finally be getting a physical release. Studio MHDR and I Am 8-Bit made the announcement via Twitter 5 years to the day since the game's initial launch. The forthcoming Cuphead physical release will come to Xbox One, PS4, and Switch. Will include the delicious Last Course DLC. No release date for the physical edition has been made as of yet. The side-scrolling platform shooter has made a big impact on the indie game world in its 5 years since existence. With its golden age of animation, visual style being particularly notable. Yeah, this entire game is hand-drawn, yeah? It's pretty wild and beautiful. And very difficult from what I understand. I would love to give it a shot. Kind of wild. It's not coming out on modern consoles as well. Hmm. Well, there you go. Um, didn't give a definitive date of when you'll be able to grab it, but it's coming. $70 October addition to the Nintendo Switch seems to be failing to appeal its fans. Lately, the video game community is witnessing many riveting changes from consoles to varied game prices. Um, the community is adapting a new fashion of gaming, and as September is nearing its end, Nintendo dropped the bomb on the Skyrim fans particularly. Nintendo fans have been informed of many upcoming game titles, but there was one such title that recently had a suspenseful appearance on the Nintendo eShop. And it was none other than the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Anniversary Edition, but it comes at a price that might surprise the much anticipated gamers. Uh, where did we just see what we saw a sale? I think it was on the Nintendo eShop, and somebody pointed out that there was a sale, and they were like, Skyrim is like 40 or $50 on sale. Like, what is that? And yeah, I was kind of taken away too. Um, the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Anniversary Edition comes to Switch in two different ways. One can grab it as a standalone bundle or as an upgrade to the already owned base game on Switch. The eShop displays the price of this edition of the video game as $70. Now, if one really wants to play the game, the love of it will overcome any price. And the same is the case here. Moreover, a YouTuber uploaded a video on his channel by the name of Spawnwave Plus regarding this development. He said, I figured Nintendo themselves eventually get there, and it looks like we're seeing at least this third party being Bethesda, and technically then Microsoft make a move here to 70. Moreover, he mentioned in one of his podcasts that to condition the people with the $70 price tag, one can present it as a bundle. Furthermore, he said, it's a bundle, it's Skyrim, and then it's also different things from the Creation Club. It's kind of like a collection. It's like Skyrim plus Creation Club mods, and that's how this is 70 then instead of 60. Although he felt odd about the fact the game is 50 on other platforms. Moreover, he said he would like to see how things take place. As he informed, Skyrim never fell in price on Switch, and thus would be excited to see how Nintendo makes develop. Look, Nintendo's always been like that, though, right? Nintendo games on Nintendo do not come down in price the same way they do on the other major consoles like PlayStation and Xbox. They just don't. Quite often, anyways. But I mean, we are talking about Skyrim is an old title at this point. Now, it's a great title, don't get me wrong, but I mean, what's it going for on what's the edition they're talking about on here? What anniversary edition? Anniversary edition, yeah. That's it. Guys, I was born in 1903. I know I don't look like it. I'm aging very well. So this is what they're talking about here, right? Oh, this is the anniversary. Wait, what? Hold up. What all is in this? That's great. It's not even. Anniversary upgrading includes pre-existing and new Creation Club content like quests, dungeons, bosses, weapons, spells, and more. With creations, there's a lot more to discover. You must own Skyrim Special Edition to access this content. Now, we're also talking about mixed reviews. Like this is not great reviewed content, by the way. And I would need to take a deep dive into the reviews to see what people are saying about it. But I also don't know to the extent of how much content is added. But we're talking about. I mean, this is a hot topic nowadays, right? Talk about Skyrim. Came out 11 years ago. 11 years ago. Almost 11 years ago. And granted, uh, you know, we're talking about the base edition here, and there has been more DLC that have come out, and the this is a different, an all encompassing edition or whatever. It adds more stuff to it, but we're talking about an 11-year-old game, right? And they're wanting $70 for it. This is a huge issue. I mean, same thing we've talked about with like the recent Spider-Man port to PC, with it being full price and a 4-year-old game. I mean, this is a 4-year-old. That was a 4-year-old game, and while it's a good game, that's a 4-year-old game. And obviously, they put that price tag on it because they saw, their marketing department saw that people were going to pay that price for it. I won't. I find that ludicrous that a 4-year-old game is going to get a port to a different platform. Yo, gamer, what's up? And then it's going to be go back to full price. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. So I don't know. This has been a hot topic here recently for the gaming industry, with not only the price of games going from the what has been the standard for quite a while now of $60 up to $70, but also these games that are have some age on them are being promoted as like these newer editions or whatever, that add a little bit of content or whatever, or they port them over to a platform they haven't been on yet, and it's like, all right, well, if you want it, you're gonna pay $70 for it, like it's a brand new title or something, and so I don't know. There's a lot of different takes and views on that. My particular one is that it feels a bit bad. Feels a bit bad. Right. Yeah, Timwin. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I agree with you. Absolutely. Yes. 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 Absolutely. Well, and I mean, and aside from that very valid point, which I agree with right there, buddy, and good morning to you. I'm ready to game, dude. Aside from that fact, I mean, the other point that we bring up quite often is the just the intense amount of leech that is coming from these developers all the time, because it's not just the amount of money you're paying initially, right? It's you're paying that price initially, and then it's like a month to 2 months later, it's like, oh hey, we got all this DLC now, so you're gonna pay 30 or 40 more bucks for the DLC if you want it, and it's like, oh yeah, plus there's a microtransaction shop, and you know what I mean? It's like, it just never ends, man. It never ends. And that's why, and I mean, you guys know how I feel, man. I'm such an advocate for as many people being able to have access to games as much as possible. And the more we see these kinds of mechanics play into this, where games become more expensive, it creates more of an issue for accessibility of games, for people to be able to get into gaming and enjoy the world that I love and that we love, right? Aside from the fact that, like, I think it creates an even more of an issue for the industry already, where all these companies are fighting piracy so much, right? But then they resort to these kinds of mechanics and they keep raising prices on stuff and then expect people to just keep paying for game when a lot of people can't afford them. Even games that came out brand new at 60 and now they want to raise the price and they expect people not to go resort to methods of and look, I'm not condoning piracy or anything like that because I don't do that stuff, but how do they expect people not to, you know? I don't understand. I mean, it's just a bunch of corporate greed is all I really see. You know, it feels really bad. And now here we are, dude. Skyrim, an 11-year-old game. Granted, they're not. I mean, you're not getting just the base game. You're getting some, what all encompassing what has been added to the game from through its lifespan. But I mean, if you want to talk about that, dude, I got The Witcher 3 for $10. You know. I got The Witcher 3 for $10 with all the DLC and everything. And I mean, we're talking about that game is 4 years newer than even what this is. You know what I mean? And then they're going to make people pay $70 for the anniversary edition of Skyrim. What? It just doesn't make any sense to me, you know? So we'll go back to reading the rest of this, but I'm so thrown off by the way these developers and publishers are resorting to these these price hikes and everything. It's just insane. For the most part, one can agree that to enjoy a coveted game, a price tag wouldn't be a deciding factor, especially a game like Skyrim. And if anything, it would be worthy of the work put in by the developers to build an enticing game. Curious fans can check out more information from Nintendo's website. I mean, you say that, but not everybody can afford to just fork over $70, dude, for an 11-year-old game, man. You know, it's just that's what it comes down to. So I don't know. I don't really agree with what they're saying here. Seems like more of a promotional kind of. It definitely doesn't appeal to me. You know, I don't know. Phil Spencer, CEO of Xbox, head of Xbox, right? Oh, you can find Skyrim pre-owned for like 20. Oh yeah, dude, yeah. Well, and the thing is, dude, Skyrim. This is what I'll say for anybody that is interested in playing Skyrim. If you have any kind of PC to play it on, it goes on sale on Steam all the time. And we've got sales coming up here fairly soon as well, like big sales, where you'll probably be able to get Skyrim for pretty cheap, actually. So especially towards the end of next month, all the way through the end of December, there's going to be insane sales going on. Yeah, PC equals mods. And Skyrim has a ton of insane mods, dude. Yeah, absolutely. Very, very good point, Timlin. Absolutely. And I mean, I understand. Not everybody's a PC gamer. All right, I get it. And some people only have a Switch to play it on. And in that, if that's the case for some people, then I feel really bad for them that if they really want to play Skyrim, that they're potentially going to have to pay $70. That's absolutely insane to me. But this game will go on sale. It goes on sale quite often on Steam and other platforms for PC. And Timlin's absolutely correct. It's a huge game for mods and the modding community. And has some absolutely amazing mods that have been done for it. So I would just say if you're interested in playing Skyrim, that's probably your best course of action here is to try to wait until you can grab it on sale on Steam and play it on PC if possible for you. Yeah. Phil Spencer confirms fan requested quick resume feature is being considered. Xbox head Phil Spencer confirmed that a fan-requested quick resume feature is being considered for Xbox Series XS consoles. Quick resume is a quality-of-life feature for the Xbox Series X and S that gets players back into their games without wasting time, but in some cases, this has been known to backfire depending on the type of game. There have been plenty of updates regarding quick resume. It's quick resume, not quick resume. Quick resume. Since the launch of Xbox Series X and S, that have continued to improve its functionality, such as one that keeps chosen Xbox games in quick resume despite going over the limit of games available under the feature. Another was an update to the UI that displays what games are compatible with quick resume and which are not, so that players will know preemptively rather than being surprised by a game not working. As a result, the newly requested quick resume feature would fit nicely under this umbrella of recent updates. Phil Spencer responded to a player on Twitter regarding a suggestion for how to improve quick resume on Xbox consoles. In their tweet, the fan praises quick resume as an amazing feature, but then expresses their confusion with why it can't be turned off, at least for certain games. This is because quick resume is not compatible with multiplayer only or live service type games, meaning any game that requires the player to be connected online. When returning to the online game using quick resume, the process will actually kick the player from its online connection, which forces them to reboot the game. This ends up taking longer than it would have, as there are now extra steps involved before the player can play the game, unless they remember to close the game before booting it back up so it does not start under quick resume. Yeah. Spencer responded to the tweet in question by saying that the suggestion makes sense and that it has been added to the list of things that Xbox will be looking at on how to improve the consoles with future updates. It is great to see the head of Xbox using his social platform to engage with the Xbox community, as it shows a level of transparency that is not normally seen from such big companies, especially seeing as how Phil Spencer plays video games himself. Look, I've continued to talk about how Phil Spencer is kind of winning me over with as far as the console players are concerned. And I traditionally have not gravitated towards Xbox at all. But Phil Spencer, it continues to impress me with everything that I've seen. This individual, while obviously is a very good business-minded person, is obviously a passionate gamer and seems very, very dedicated at trying to always find ways to improve what Xbox is doing for their fan base and for their gamers. And I applaud that. I don't see this from any other of the high profile individuals at the head of the other console companies. I just don't see it, man. And I don't know. He's really winning me over as far as the console gaming space goes. Fortunately, this quick resume issue is only a minor inconvenience rather than a groundbreaking problem. Even so, the inconvenience goes against what the feature attempts to accomplish. So a fix towards this in some capacity would be welcomed in the future Xbox updates. Despite this, quick resume remains a useful console feature. Yeah, cool. Mm-hmm. Cool. Java. Shock move. Activision compliance chief steps down ahead of Microsoft deal. All right. Activision Blizzard's chief compliance officer, who drew scrutiny over her response to sexual assault allegations last year, is stepping down as the video game publisher seeks to close its sale to Microsoft. Frances Townsend, who also served as executive vice president of corporate affairs, leaves 2 years after taking her role. After Friday, she will become an advisor to the board and to the chief executive officer, Bobby Kotick. I said this earlier. And I've said this ever from the time we found out that Microsoft had agreed to buy Activision Blizzard. This is who I wanted to see ousted. You know, hey Wick, what up, bro? Hey, thanks for the shout out, dude. You wild, bro. You wild. Yo, look, hey, for everybody hanging out, I did a lot of work yesterday, man, on the channel, and I've actually completely revamped the entire audio stuff here for the channel. So things might sound a little bit off, a little bit wonky. What I need is some feedback from you guys. I tried my best.
Now that we're friends, is it okay if I pet you?
Thanks, dude. Dude.
Wick 6634 just gifted 5 subs.
What, dude? Look at the explosion. Explosions, bro. Thanks, man. Holy crap, dude. Insane. Yo, much appreciated. Thanks, dude. You like the new pew pew pow pow? You like the new the new sub gif there? You like that? That's brand. I just got that made up last night too. Just got that made up. So yeah, insane, buddy. Thank you very much. Incredible amount of support from my mod, dude. My mod. Emoji explosion. Yeah. So I got oh yeah, and our GIFs work. I got the GIFs fixed last night. We were having an issue where our GIFs were like freezing and everything. The GIFs now work correctly. I did a lot of work last night, but I actually all the audio stuff has been changed for the stream and the channel. So if you guys hear something that sounds a bit too soft, too loud, whatever, give me some feedback so I can adjust it, please. Okay. Wick, dude, incredible. Thank you, man. Thank you so much, buddy. So after Friday, she will become an advisor to the board. Name your cat Wick. And to the chief executive officer, Bobby Kotick. Yo, did you guys see all the I've got a bunch of new scare alerts set up for our playthroughs, but I've got a little bit more work to do. God dang. I was so flippin' wild, dude. God. I'm not even playing any games yet. That was just absolutely terrifying. So that works. Thanks, man. Yeah, I got like a bunch of new alerts. Found one. Dude, I got a bunch of new alerts put in last night, man. Woo! Good night. But I've got some other stuff to do before we start Dead Space. So before we start Dead Space on Monday, I'll have some more stuff set up for Scaretober. But at least we're on our way, okay? Quote, Fran did a truly exceptional job, actually 4 jobs with continuously increasing responsibilities and the most exemplary work ethic, Kotick wrote in an email shared with Bloomberg News. Fran also has done an extraordinary job enhancing the strong governance and compliance programs we have throughout the company. Jen Brewer, the Senior Vice President of Ethics and Compliance, and Lucy Altman, the Senior Vice President of Corporate Governance, will fill Townsend's role. Brewer has been with the company for over a decade. The Wall Street Journal reported the move earlier Friday. In July 2021, shortly after a California state agency complaint alleged endemic sexism at Activision Blizzard, Townsend's response to the claims were roundly criticized. She described them in an internal letter as factually incorrect, old, and out of context. Over 2,000 current and former employees of the company signed a letter calling Activision Blizzard's leaders' response to the discrimination suit abhorrent and insulting. Kotick ultimately took responsibility for the incident, saying Townsend shouldn't be blamed. The company has since shifted to a more conciliatory tone, but she later stepped down from her role as the women's network sponsor at Activision Blizzard King. Okay. I think and hope that after this acquisition takes place, and I do think it's going to take place sooner rather than later, of Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard, I think we're going to see more changes happen. Cyberpunk passes major sales milestone. So Cyberpunk 2077 has officially surpassed a major sales milestone following the massive resurgence of the title after the anime's release. Yeah. So CDPR specifically announced that Cyberpunk has hit and exceeded 20 million copies sold across all platforms. That statistic comes after the title hit 1 million daily players after the Cyberpunk Edgerunners anime was released on Netflix. I haven't watched this yet. Has anybody else watched this yet? It is apparently very good and has done huge things for the game. It has brought a lot of people. What they did is it was really smart. They made the game go on sale at the same time that they ran this anime. This new anime came out. It's really good. I'll have to watch it, Tim. And thanks, buddy. I figured you'd probably seen it. It was a really smart play by CDPR. And it really brought a lot of people into Cyberpunk, and it was a very smart play by CDPR. Over 20 million Cyberpunks, quote, over 20 million Cyberpunks have been roaming the streets of Night City, partying with Jackie and getting to know Johnny, driving around with Pan Am, and diving with Judy, hanging out with River, and listening to Carrie songs. The official Cyberpunk Twitter account shared earlier this week. Thank you, and we hope to see you all in the afterlife. Not just the anime release that has helped boost Cyberpunk's numbers. While the anime is extremely popular and received well by critics and fans alike, Cyberpunk itself also released a massive new update to the title, patch 1.6, in conjunction with the anime's release on Netflix, which added new features, weapons, clothing, and more. An expansion for Cyberpunk, Phantom Liberty, was also revealed recently with an expected release in 2023. Broadly speaking, Cyberpunk is currently available for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, S1, Google Stadia, which is shutting down, and PC. As for the anime, Cyberpunk Edgerunners is currently available to stream on Netflix. Let me throw in a tidbit here for anybody that might be watching this now or that is not aware or might be watching this on YouTube later. If you're interested in playing Cyberpunk, Phantom Liberty will not be accessible on last-gen consoles, okay? So this expansion that is coming out next year, you will not be able to play this expansion content on last-gen consoles. So if you are interested in playing Cyberpunk and the coming expansion, you should be looking to grab this title on PC or Xbox Series X or S or PS5. That's what you should be looking to do, okay? Because if you grab it on PS4 or Xbox One, you will not be able to play Phantom Liberty, okay? So make sure you're aware of that, and that way you don't put yourself into a bad position of not being able to enjoy the expansion that comes out next year, okay? God of War PC studio working to turn flagship PlayStation IP into a live service game. A flagship PlayStation IP is apparently being turned into a live service project by Jetpack Interactive, a studio that worked to bring God of War to the PC platform. It's not known which IP it is that's being focused during this initiative, with news of these plans only recently revealed through a job listing on LinkedIn. There was also an indication that God of War Ragnarok could be coming to the PC platform later on. Yeah, that's when we will be playing Ragnarok. Though that's perhaps less surprising now, given how many PlayStation games have come to the PC. The LinkedIn listing in question was spotted by Reset Era users and discussed within the forums. The original LinkedIn post went up close to a week ago now, with Jetpack Interactive recounting its work on the PC versions of God of War. First, before teasing that what's in the works now to entice prospective applicants. Well, we are working directly with Sony to develop one of its flagship IPs within its much anticipated live service games portfolio. If you're revved up about being part of a small and skilled SWAT team making some of the finest AAA games out there, we're pretty sure you'll like working at Jetpack. Elsewhere in the post, Jetpack Interactive referred to the PlayStation property as a prized IP. While the listed job requirements sometimes hint at what kind of game the project might pertain to, one of the best hints about a Ghost of Tsushima sequel, for example, said applicants for a potential Sucker Punch Productions job had to be familiar with Ghosts of Tsushima. Nothing of that sort was offered in this particular LinkedIn listing. Outside of whatever this project may be, the LinkedIn post also notably talks contains what might be a hint about a PC version of God of War Ragnarok. The post says Jetpack has been working with Sony Santa Monica, on God of War projects. That's notably a plural used there. But the only God of War project we know of it's worked on was the PC version of 2018's God of War, which they did a fantastic job on, by the way. That was a great PC port. That PC port was fantastic. The main page for Jetpack on LinkedIn adds to this by saying the studio continues to work with Sony Santa Monica on the God of War franchise. Cool. The God of War port to PC was phenomenal. It felt so good. And I feel like it's a rarity nowadays to be able to say that quite often. Whether it be, whatever the port may be from one platform to another, it doesn't always go super well, right? So whenever you anticipate one and you actually get to experience it and it feels very, very optimized, it feels very polished, man, that is a phenomenal thing. All right, Splatoon 3 update released, patch notes revealed. Has anybody played this yet? Nintendo has released a new Splatoon 3 update that fixes a rather hefty number of problems and bugs. Perhaps most notably, following this latest patch, there should be fewer communication errors, and anyone that had trouble getting Super C Snells from the very first official Splatfest should now be able to grab them. That's just two of several fixes for Splatoon 3 that are included in the patch notes, however. In general, the Splatoon 3 patch includes changes to connectivity, player controls, multiplayer, and more. The patch notes also indicate that Nintendo is actively monitoring whether players are harassing others or exploiting bugs. It states that the company is, quote, actively taking measures towards such players that includes suspension of online play. Changes to connectivity includes implemented additional measures to reduce the frequency of communication errors following battles and job shifts. Changes to player controls fixed an issue where players using dualies would stop attacking in inner swim form at the end of a dodge roll, regardless of whether they were holding the ZR button. Fixed an issue where the drop roller gear ability where the player would enter swim form at the end of their drop roll if they pressed the ZR button while holding the ZL button during the drop roll, regardless of whether they continued holding the ZR button. Fixed an issue with splatanas that caused players to perform two sequential horizontal slashes following a charge slash, even if they only pressed the ZR button once. Changes to multiplayer. Fixed an issue where players would not take damage for a certain amount of time after their Booyah bomb armor was broken. Implemented measures to prevent issues where players would clip through and get stuck in terrain when turning from swim form into humanoid form near a tacticooler placed in the corner of certain maps. Other changes fixed an issue where the game would crash when the player finished editing their locker with a photo stand placed in the locker. Fixed an issue with receiving a new catalog after reaching catalog level 100, where a communication error happening on the game crashing could result in the catalog receiving event not triggered. Fixed an issue relating to Super C Snells. If you were unable to receive Super C Snells, say that 10 times fast, from the first Splatfest, the final results news broadcast will replay, and you will now be able to collect your Super C Snells. Because this update patch focuses on additional fixes to connection-related issues and fixes to some control and battle-related issues, we have prioritized its release. Identified an issue where communications with the server are interrupted during a battle or job shift due to settings on the player's network equipment and their internet provider. Implemented measures to reduce communication interruptions and reduce subsequent errors after a battle or job shift, even if an interruption does occur. Additionally, we have implemented provisional fixes regarding some problems that affect the feeling and feedback of controls while playing. In the case of the issue with clipping through terrain when using a tacticooler, we decided that it was more important to quickly release a solution that mitigates the issue rather than hold out for a, quote, perfect fix. Furthermore, if players are found to be harassing other players or otherwise violating Nintendo's community guidelines by intentionally exploiting game bugs, we are actively taking measures, including suspension of online play. The next patch will focus primarily on balance adjustments and other issues that were outside the scope of the current patch. We continue to observe and analyze battle data and are planning to make further adjustments around the midpoint of the current season. All right, for any of you Splatoon 3 players, that's the patch notes, at least main patch notes for the upcoming update, okay? Ubisoft reveals Project U opens signups for the first test. Ubisoft has sort of announced a new game currently titled Project U, with registrations now open as well for the game's first closed test. While details are limited at this time, it's seen from a site setup for Project U that this thing is a, quote, session-based co-op shooter. The first test that's welcoming registrations now will only be conducted on the PC platform, though it's unclear when exactly this closed test will take place. We say the game has sort of been announced by Ubisoft because there is indeed a site live to share a bit more info about the project. But Ubisoft has not yet made any social or blog posts about the topic. The site in question only contains one line about what Project U actually is alongside the some artwork for the game. This shows several different characters armed with different equipment as they seemingly stand up to a mechanical threat of some sort. Codename Project U explores a new concept of session-based co-op shooter where many players unite to prevail against an overwhelming threat. A preview of the game reads. Whatever this game is, it's currently in early development, which means it'll be a while now before we actually see the game release. However, it won't be that long until people can play it themselves, given that signups for the first closed test are already open. Ubisoft did say that the test will be restricted to certain regions, in addition to it already being limited to the PC platform. The test will run solely in Western Europe, and specifically in Germany, the UK, Ireland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, Austria, Switzerland, Portugal, Spain, Italy. So if you're outside those areas, you'll have to wait for your shot at Project U whenever that opportunity comes around. For those interested in checking this game out, you can sign up here. I'll throw this in chat for anybody interested. All right. There you go. 10 best horror games available on the Xbox Series X and S. I don't always dive into these types of articles for the news segment, but it's kind of appropriate seeing as how we just hit Scaretober. Yeah, so let's take a quick look. Alan Wake Remastered at number 10. Simulacra at number 9. Resident Evil 2 at number 8. That would be the remake right there, yeah. The Medium at 7. Resident Evil Village at 6. Dying Light 2, Staying Human at 5. Little Nightmares 2 at number 4. Alien Isolation, which we played last year and was really, really good, at number 3. A Plague Tale Innocence at number 2. Isn't the A Plague Tale Requiem, isn't that coming out soon? Hold on. Okay. October 18th. October 18th. We have a thought here. Now, I didn't really consider these like necessarily like horror games, right? I mean, they're dark, they're ominous, right? But I didn't necessarily consider them horror, right? Hmm. It does say right here a dark medieval horror game. Um, It's a thought. I have the first one. I haven't ever played it. The second one comes out on the 18th, right? So there is the potential for us to play like the first one and the second one this month if we wanted to, right? That's a possibility. If we wanted to play the Plague Tale series this month, yeah, we could do that. And Outlast, which we're planning on playing, yeah. So if you want to read more about these titles, I want to throw this in chat. I'm not going to read all of it for you, but if you have Xbox and you're looking for some horror titles for this month, there you go. All right. Grand Theft Auto suffers a stunning blow as Netflix plots an unlikely rise. What? Rarely do jokes write themselves so neatly. The developer behind the massively successful GTA series has suffered one of the biggest leaks in video game history. Yeah, we know all about this. 17-year-old individual in London was arrested for basically hacking Rockstar, infiltrated their network, stole a bunch of their game code from GTA 6 and a lot of development videos of the development process, and put it all out there for people, man. So I basically just gave you the TLDR. If you didn't know, that's what all of this top part of this article is talking about. If you want to read more about it, I'll throw it in chat for you, okay? And I'm just going to keep moving on. That's basically what's happened. It's kind of, I mean, it's recent, but it's also, this is a couple weeks old at this point. On September 26th, Netflix's Vice President of Gaming Studios, Amir Rahimi, announced that the streaming service was officially establishing an as yet unnamed game development studio located in Helsinki. Yeah, we read about that too. It's all well and good to announce the creation of a world-class game studio, but the issue of whether Netflix subscribers are looking to do anything but stream movies and TV shows is another thing entirely. Okay. All right. So it's not as if Netflix is only concerned with publishing time wasters. The summer saw the company release an updated and expanded mobile port of turn-based strategy title Into the Breach. Yes, which was that was their first big, I think, notable game title, right? That was a pretty big surprise for me. And Into the Breach is a very notable game, and it was a good play by them. One of the most acclaimed indie games of the past several years. That's in addition to new releases from Us2, the developer behind 2014's award-winning Monument Valley, and Sam Barlow, perhaps the most innovative designer working with full motion video in games today. The games are there, but where are the gamers? For many of these titles, Netflix is simply the mobile pusher. People dying to get their hands on them can find them on other platforms. It's just as likely, however, that Netflix sees potential in its growing collection of games explicitly tied to its hit homegrown shows like 2019's clunkily titled and middlingly reviewed Stranger Things 3 the game. Talking about video game tie-ins for TV shows and movies inevitably brings up memories of a time when even Burger King was pushing its own half-hearted game, but Netflix would have you believe things are different this time around. To its credit, there are several well-reviewed shows available on Netflix based on video game properties. Arcane, amazing. Based on the runaway hit League of Legends, right? Even if you're not, I've touted this title, and promoted it quite. I'm not even a League of Legends fan. I've dabbled in the game briefly, but that series on Netflix is fantastic. And recently had one of our community members go take a look at it because I said it was good, and they were like, "Dude, you're right. It's great." And they're not a League of Legends fan either. The recently released Cyberpunk Edge Runners, which we were just talking about, and Tinwin had said was really, really good. Obviously is loved so far. A lot of people are enjoying it and has prompted people to go buy the game, right? Based on 2020's critically mixed yet commercially stellar Cyberpunk 2077, both stand out. It'd be closed-minded for the gaming world to turn its nose up at the idea of Netflix ever understanding at least the narrative drives of the medium. Shows and games alike take years to develop, though. When Netflix's internal studio releases a game so good that you give the associated show a try, and not the other way around, you'll know they're onto something. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's what that was about. Satisfactory meets Starship Troopers in upcoming game Hostile Mars. A free demo will be available next week. Okay. Cool. Hostile Mars, a factory building game with a combat twist, is getting a free demo for fans to try out during Steam Next Fest. Set to launch in early access later this year, developer Big Rock Games will let players try out Hostile Mars with a demo available starting October 2nd. So tomorrow to October 10th. Part factory builder and part tower defense game, Hostile Mars tasks players with building a base that can withstand increasingly dangerous waves of enemies. As teased on the game's Steam page, the game will let players, quote, create efficient supply chains, salvage destroyed enemies, and upgrade structures to support your gigantic cannons that defend your base against thousands of enemies. Keeping your base intact will involve constructing supply chains to stay well stocked with crafting materials for turrets and traps, as well as exploring Hostile Mars' open world to progress through a tech tree and unlock new weapons and buildings. For more information on what Hostile Mars is about, check out Big Rook Games' handy explainer below. Let's see. That's a minute long. Let's go.
Hostile Mars is an open-world tower defense game that focuses on resource management, base building with automation, and upgrades. Lots of upgrades. In Hostile Mars, the waves of enemies reach into the thousands all at once, all with real-time physics. The sheer magnitude of enemies and colliding objects has not been done before at this level in a 3D space. Many items in-game are physics-based, which allows the player to creatively...
That is going to lag out some people's hardware.
Traps and turrets that
dude, there's no doubt. That is going to straight up kill some people's hardware.
Against the attacking bots and collect their scraps to use as resources. The upgrade system also allows you to create gigantic turrets that shoot hundreds of projectiles per second.
Well, I wonder what the requirements are for this game. Hold on. This demo is the first time we are revealing any parts of the story to the audience, said Big Rook Games founder Jake Jameson, who added that it will also include some interesting new weapons and traps to use. A prologue for Hostile Mars is also available to try out for free. Not attached to Steam Next Fest, meaning interested players can download it and play whenever they like. You can download it here. As described by Valve, Steam Next Fest will be a multi-day celebration of upcoming games that will include hundreds of game demos to check out, Hostile Mars being one of them. Hold on. So you got the demo up there. What, So system requirements they're saying is currently an Intel Core i3 at 3.1 gigahertz or an AMD FX 6300 at 3.5 gigahertz or equivalent, and just a GeForce GTX 960 really with 4 gigs of RAM. That's it. I don't know with how much was going on the screen right there. This looks pretty cool, though. This looks pretty cool. So that's Hostile Mars. Neat. If you want to know more, I'll throw this in chat. Here you go, guys. Hostile Mars. Cool. Activision slams Call of Duty cheat makers with racketeering charges. It's an all-out assault on one of the biggest Call of Duty cheat companies. Activision has gone to war with the maker of popular Call of Duty cheat software, a German-based entity called Engine Owning. Hereafter EO. The video game publisher has filed a new document in an ongoing suit in California against dozens of named individuals, and among the charges is one that does raise an eyebrow: racketeering. Activision accuses the individuals involved in EO of not just violating the software's terms of use and wire fraud, but of an RICO violation, essentially saying that this amounts to criminal conspiracy. I've read quite a few suits like this over the years, and usually it's about the in-game terms of service being violated or the unfair competition element of the cheating software. But under California law, says Activision's lawyers, defendants have committed violations of the Racketeering Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act by conducting and participating in an enterprise engaged in racketeering activity. These individuals knowingly conspired against Activision in order to sell cheats, the publisher claims, and ran a sophisticated operation intended to undermine the COD series. And now Activision wants all the money they've made through this and then some. Activision's explanation of why this racketeering is worth a read, as it shows in outline how these cheat resellers operate at scale. Quote, the enterprise is a well-coordinated multi-level marketing machine. Defendants work together to continuously sell cheating software licenses directly, as well as recruit reseller defendants. A network of seller and reseller defendants have perpetuated the same steps as across thousands of instances of marketing, sales, distribution, and support regarding the cheating software via numerous separate U.S. customers. So EO sells the cheats, but it also has a network of agents selling the cheats on its behalf. Maybe? What specifically about new players are you getting at, Tinwin? It's possible. Oh, yeah, dude, we hit on that yesterday. yeah, we hit on that yesterday. Mm-hmm. You know, that they're not the only company doing that kind of thing. And, yeah, I hit on that in the news segment yesterday. Let me finish this up and I'll talk about it for just a second. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Yeah, and how to unlock the new players. Yeah, give me a second and I'll touch on it again real quick in case anybody's not familiar. But, yeah, thanks, buddy. Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. So EO sells the cheats, but also has a network of agents selling cheats on its behalf who receive a cut. Defendants operate according to a common set of norms and rules. Resellers purchase cheating software licenses in bulk, then proliferate cheating software marketing and sales through their own advertisements. After selling their bulk stock, reseller defendants follow the same pattern of remitting revenue back to the enterprise while retaining a portion of revenue for themselves. Activision claims, quote, thousands of such transactions have taken place in the U.S. and thousands more abroad. Activision's lawyers have then give a list of shell companies involved in EO before going on to name various individuals, most of whom are located in Germany. Though there are also individuals in various U.S. states, the UK, France, Spain, and the Netherlands. I'm not going to reproduce all the names because there are absolutely dozens and it would be a somewhat meaningless list. There is some fun to be had with various DOE defendants Activision is including in the suit, but wasn't able to identify. Activision is informed and believes, and on that basis alleges, that defendant Big Pile of Poop is an individual residing in Europe. The three masterminds and the driving force identified are defendants Valentin Rick, Leon Schlender, and Krodel. These individuals are primarily responsible for the development of the software, the EO website, and the finances. Additionally, the suit names Valentin Rick's mother, Regina Rick, as providing administrative, financial, legal, and other consulting services for the EO enterprise. No jokes about basements, then the kicker. Activision not only wants damages and costs, but all the profits obtained by the cheating enterprise, which will be worked out at trial, but is estimated to at least be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Also says that money isn't enough. These individuals need to be enjoined and restrained by the court, which means the granting of permanent injunctions against further acts of unfair competition against Activision. It wants the cheating software shut down, copies of all EO software given to Activision for impoundment or destruction, and basically whatever else it can get. This is, of course, only one side of the story, and the individuals behind EO have yet to defend themselves. They probably shouldn't have done this, though. Defendants have engaged in a pattern of online trolling of Activision and its counsel, such as by creating fake accounts in the name of Activision's counsel, posting fake messages that purport to be from Activision's counsel, or using the names of Activision's counsel in their advertising. Activision is asking for a jury trial and is certainly going all out for these individuals. Interestingly enough, the earlier portion of the suit mentions the damage that cheating software like this does to Activision and the COD brand, with the publisher's lawyers saying that because of companies like EO, there are negative social media posts and press articles about the game's cheating problem. So it's nice that all those COD fans complaining on Twitter know that someone's taking notice, On which point, the suit also claims Activision has been able to identify and ban hundreds of thousands of accounts using cheat software in the COD games in just over the past year. I don't understand why. I just don't understand the cheating thing, dude. It just does not appeal to me. I hate it. I love seeing people get caught cheating. Like, I love watching videos of like people streaming and getting caught cheating, and so I absolutely love seeing people get caught and get wrecked for it. I don't I just don't see the appeal. And it ruins games. Random mode time, by the way, guys. The bigger publishers are definitely getting more legally aggressive over cheat makers and other forms of malfeasance around their games. It's an odd thing to see because these kinds of shady companies have seemed like a part of PC gaming for as long as I've known it. We've all seen the ads and consoled ourselves with the knowledge that Opponent X was definitely aimbotting, yeah. As this suit makes clear, though, enterprises like EO aren't plucky rogues, but organized and sophisticated businesses dedicated to making money by compromising another company's product and a whole bunch of other players' experiences. Is it racketeering, though? We're about to find out. What's up, Pinky? Let's get that rando mode in there. Yeah, dude. I mean, you guys know how I feel about it, dude. I am not about cheating in games. I think there's a difference, dude, in playing like a single player title or something like, the old like Doom-esque kind of games, Wolfenstein kind of game. They usually had like text-based codes you could put in to get like god modes and stuff like that, and it was fun to mess around with that stuff a little bit. But in the like online live service competitive space with people cheating, like, dude, I absolutely hate it. And it does it ruins the experience for everybody else, and I love seeing people get wrecked for it. So as much as I'm kind of like, and what I will say, dude, is I read a really cool article about something that Activision Blizzard is incorporating to try, and it was like one of the first positive things I had read about Activision Blizzard in a long time in yesterday's news segment. So it was good to see that something that they're incorporating, to try and help kind of developers, if you will, within their organization, from the entry point all the way up, and it seems like naturally it's also helping to increase diversity within their workplace, not like forcing diversity. It's just naturally kind of doing that, which is awesome. I mean, good on Activision Blizzard. I mean, I'm all about taking down the cheaters. I hate it. Yeah, that's cool, Pinky. Yeah, man. Yeah. View on Overwatch 2. Both of these are to avoid cheaters and smurfs. Yeah. A new player has to play with other new players while slowly unlocking more and more heroes. Yep. To avoid that, a new player is overwhelmed by the huge number of heroes. Yes. Yep. Uh-huh. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's a bad play. I think it's pretty smart on their part. Yep. Cheaters are also restricted as if they restart due to ban, will they have to re-unlock everything? Yeah. I mean, you would hope. You would hope. I don't know. The phone thing is just to really restrict the number of accounts people can make. And again, if people are not familiar with what we're talking about, we covered this in depth in an article yesterday regarding basically the fact that Blizzard is requiring accounts for Overwatch 2 to be linked to phone numbers, right? And we're talking real phone numbers. And only one phone number can be linked to one Blizzard account, right? And basically, that's what this is about. It is about, preventing people from just making a whole bunch of dupe accounts and basically what I'm reading off of what Tim Wynn's writing in chat right now, or has written in chat, Restrict the number of accounts people can make. Yes, once again, to prevent smurfs and to make sure that the cheaters have to put things on the line to do what they do. Right. No, it's not perfect. Yeah. I think it's a good step, though. I do think it's a good step in trying to. It's going to help prevent, right? It's a really good measure. It's a really good measure in my perspective. Yeah, and this is what I was saying. If for people that aren't aware, what they've done with Overwatch is make it to where the characters are unlockable through the battle pass and not the paid side of the battle pass, not the premium side of the battle pass. It's actually the free side of the battle pass, right? So for anybody that's not aware, if you're looking to get into playing Overwatch, you haven't played it before or whatever, right? The game's going free to play with Overwatch 2. There is a battle pass, but you don't have to pay for the there's a free side of battle, like with most season passes or battle passes or whatever that are incorporated in games. There's a free side to it, which you don't get near as many rewards, right? But you get some, just the more you play the game for each season. And if you the paid side, you get a ton of rewards or whatever. But you unlock the characters through the free side of the battle pass. And I think that's good. I think it's good. There are a lot of people screaming about how they will sell the phone numbers to people to use to sell stuff. Like 99% of phone numbers are public information. Literally search someone's phone. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Tillman, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah, I had no idea there were that many heroes in the game, dude. That's actually crazy. There are 75 heroes in Overwatch now. Oh, right. That is a lot. That's a lot, dude. That's actually wild. Wow. How many do you start off with? If you were going to start playing, does anybody know? If you were going to start playing Overwatch 2 and you never played Overwatch 1, does anybody know how many characters you get to start off with? I don't remember if we read that in the article yesterday. Again, we did take a deep dive into an article yesterday about a lot of this. It's like half that. That's still quite a few. 35. It's 35. It's like half that. It's like half of that original number. That's still quite a few. That's still quite a few heroes, man. But do you know how many you start off with? I don't know that we read that yesterday in the article. That would be some good information to know. I know it's not a whole lot. I know they've really made it to where, like, if you're a new player, yeah, that's definitely much better. 75 sounded absolutely insane. But that's another thing that if you didn't hear that, that's basically what they've done for new players. You're basically, kind of regulated to unlocking different modes and progressing in the game as you go, unlocking characters and things like that to get a feel for the game and they want to make new players not feel too overwhelmed, right? So I think that's very smart by them too. Yes, Overwatch 2 is free to play. Yep, it's free to play. It didn't used to be. Overwatch 1 was like a $40 game, if I remember correctly, USD, and but it is becoming free to play. Now they do have a microtransaction shop in there where you can just go buy cosmetics and things like that. But ultimately, it's free to play. It has a battle pass that the free side of the battle pass. It costs you nothing. The more you play, the more you unlock new characters and stuff. 40 US, 60 for collectors. Thanks, Timwin. Thanks. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, it is. It's going to be out on the 4th of this month. Yep. It's free to play. So Assassin's Creed Anniversary Mega Bundle includes 6 games out now on Switch. Ubisoft has launched a brand new Assassin's Creed Anniversary Edition Mega Bundle, giving you the chance to pick up 6 full games plus lots of DLC in one handy package. Available now on Switch, the bundle includes Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Rogue, AC2, Brotherhood, Revelations, and Liberation. And all 6 of them come with all their respective solo DLCs. If you are interested, you can pick it up now for, £99? Or $99. Buying a Switch code directly from the Ubisoft store also gets you 100 Ubisoft units, which can then be used as a discount on other games. Add the links there. It's worth noting that you can sometimes find these individual collections on sale on the Switch eShop. You may well be able to secure all 6 games for less by buying them separately when they're on discount. Still, if you're looking for a convenient way to dive into the series, this anniversary bundle should do the trick just fine. All right, if you're interested, here you go. Right there in chat. Microsoft files its case for Activision acquisition with EU competition regulator. Yeah, this has been an ongoing thing here, yeah. In a filing on Friday, the European competition watchdog confirmed it has set a provisional deadline of November 8th to clear the roughly $69 billion deal or choose to enter a second, more detailed investigation phase. Over the coming weeks, the European Commission will analyze the deal during what's called a Phase 1 review. The goal is to decide whether the merger would significantly reduce competition in the market, for example, by creating dominant companies that are likely to raise prices for consumers. You know what's funny about what's kind of funny about this statement right now is that the way everything stands right now, right? Sony is the one that is currently raising prices on everything, and Xbox seems to be the one that's like kind of reducing prices on everything or staying the same. Now, obviously, things can change, especially in an after an acquisition like this. It could definitely, this is a huge, and the main thing about it is because of Call of Duty, right? But I mean, that doesn't take away either just the absolutely enormous portfolio of IPs that Microsoft would be inheriting from the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, right? I mean, it's actually insane. Some toasted whole wheat, peanut butter, jelly Sammies, baby. Let's go, baby. You know what that calls for. Some of that. If it still has concerns about the deal following its investigation, the Commission will launch a Phase 2 review, which is more in-depth analysis of the merger's effects on competition. According to a Financial Times report this month, regulators and others involved in the Microsoft Activision merger are expecting a lengthy EU probe. Quote, if it's a big deal, a difficult deal, a Brussels source said to be familiar with the transaction told the publication it needs an extensive investigation. The acquisition is being scrutinized by regulators around the world amid antitrust concerns during a time of increasing consolidation in the gaming industry. Earlier this month, the UK's Competition and Markets Authority said its inquiry into the merger had officially been expanded to a second phase due to a number of concerns. Notably, the CMA is worried about the impact the deal could have on PlayStation's ability to compete. Well, look, PlayStation has not been doing themselves any favors here recently either, though, Given that it would see Microsoft gain ownership of the Call of Duty series. Yeah, that's been the big deal right there. Earlier this month, Phil Spencer, again, head of Xbox, said Microsoft had committed to making Call of Duty available on PlayStation for several more years. Right now, don't forget that there's a contract already in play that has Call of Duty slated to be on PlayStation for the next 3 years, roughly, right? And Xbox did come out and said that they tried to, provide an extension for several more years after that, and Sony shot it down. Of course, they're going to, because Sony wants it to look like it's anti-competitive, right? After Sony's current marketing deal with Activision expires. The current Call of Duty deal between Sony and Activision is believed to cover this year's Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2, and a new game from Black Ops developer Treyarch, which may not arrive until 2024. Sony CEO Jim Ryan, who's reportedly seeking access to future Call of Duty games on equal terms and in perpetuity, responded by calling Microsoft's proposal for keeping the series on PlayStation consoles, quote, inadequate on many levels. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, we have no idea what the details are of what I've talked about this before, right? We have no idea what the details are regarding what Microsoft has offered Sony or PlayStation in regards to an extension on the Call of Duty franchise moving forward. And it doesn't really matter, to be honest, because the way this is being played is nothing will be good enough because PlayStation wants this to look anti-competitive. So if PlayStation was to take some kind of deal right now on extending this for the foreseeable future, it would make it look less anti-competitive, and they don't want that. Basically what it comes down to. Warner Brothers could be working on creating video game devices for cars. Warner Brothers may be preparing to create video game devices that can be used in a moving car. In a recently filed patent, it appears the entertainment giant is making steps to ensure you can game even as you travel the roads. This may also shed some light on the future of gaming as self-driving cars become more ambiguous. Under new leadership, it will be interesting to see how Warner Brothers extends its reach in gaming. We've talked a lot about this kind of stuff, right? In a patent filed on April 4th and published on September 22nd, entitled Hardware for Entertainment Content in Vehicles, Warner Brothers laid out plans for a system that would allow commuters in a self-driving car to play multiplayer video games during their journey. Within the patent are details that explain how the device would allow a commuter to play games while the vehicle uses autonomous driving. Using a variety of complex sensors, Warner Brothers claims the device would be able to ensure it's used safely. An apparatus housed in a portable display is described, which would provide entertainment experiences to passengers. Perhaps it's possible that the device will be something like a Steam Deck, even though some gamers have questioned the device's value. The patent specifies use for multiplayer gaming, given that much of the patent application is dedicated to the 5G communication system the platform will employ. It could be assumed that it will utilize game streaming in some fashion. Okay, well, I mean, look. Tesla's doing it. Warner Brothers doing it. Incorporating. There are going to be a lot of other companies that are trying to create, as we get closer and closer to driverless cars, right? This is just going to continue to become, we're going to see more and more patents come out as, especially businesses, developers within the video gaming industry want to get ahead of the ball game here and be a front runner in trying to have their products be the go-to for what is utilized in a lot of these auto manufacturers for entertainment within the driverless vehicles, right? So we're going to see a lot more of this in the future. 6 ways to push your Steam Deck beyond gaming. The Steam Deck, Valve's mini PC, is a wonderful gaming device with plenty of excellent titles to choose from. But as a straight-up handheld computer, the Deck isn't too shabby for non-gaming computing needs. Whether it's using the Deck as a dockable desktop computer, a portable coding station, or even a tool for game development, the Steam Deck community is embracing the open-ended possibilities of a computer this small and capable. That's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. I don't think I would want to look at a screen that small to do work for too long, But it's definitely a possibility, And it's nice that it yeah, you could. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and just give the campaign a shot and see what you think, Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing for me, man. The competitive online space of a lot of the uh, live service games. Quite often, man, they're a lot of cheating and stuff, which feels bad. Yeah, I mean, look, if you have a Steam Deck or you're interested, um, while it is obviously promoted as a gaming device, PC gaming device, handheld, uh, there are a lot of kind of how to out there on maybe take a good look at YouTube and Reddit on how to utilize that platform that hardware for different uses, right, outside of just gaming. So take a look, see what you can figure out for yourself. Lenovo leaks the world's first gaming Chromebook. There's a catch. Um, The inclusion of gaming, even if it's parenthetical, is startling. Could this be the world's first gaming Chromebook? While the product link currently redirects to the specification reference website, Chrome Unboxed managed to dig up some information about this model. Lenovo's unreleased IdeaPad gaming Chromebook is interesting, but might not have what it takes to earn its name. You don't say. It's got a 1440p 16-inch display with a 120 hertz refresh rate. Entry model is a Intel Core i3 1215U, 8 gigs of memory and up to 512 gigs of storage. Yeah, the timing for a gaming Chromebook is disappointing, with Google recently announcing the impending doom of its Stadia cloud gaming system. We dove into that yesterday. So look at yesterday's news segment if you want to take a deep look into Stadia dying. February, I think it's going to be completely shut down. They are refunding everybody though that bought into it. However, there are still cloud gaming options that would work well with this Lenovo IdeaPad Chromebook, such as GeForce Now and Amazon Luna. Google or Xbox cloud gaming, I'm sure. Google is also supposedly still working on Steam for Chrome OS. Since most Chromebooks can run Android, you can play games designed for smartphones and tablets as well. That means there is still value in a low-power gaming Chromebook, but serious gamers will probably want to stick to Windows laptops to get the full speed and resolution needed for fast action and crisp visuals. All right. Game Pass loses 10 games and adds a new day one release today. That was yesterday. This is yesterday. Let's take a quick look. 10 games are leaving, or that left are AI the Somnium Files, Astria Ascending, Dandy Ace, Going Under, Limnus Gate, Slime Rancher, Subnautica Below Zero. Ooh. Man, that's a good one. I hope a lot of people got their time in on that. I mean, I haven't even played it. I need to play it, but I know it's good. Oh, yeah. Tidwin. Dude, I just saw that in chat. I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, yeah. I think we all know that the any kind of competitive live service competitive game is you're going to find an amount of toxicity, and it varies from title to title, but the Call of Duty series, dude, is quite noted as being pretty toxic, dude. Yeah. Yeah. The Procession to Cavalry, Unsighted, and Visage should still be able to play them until the end of the day, so they're gone now. The good news is at least one of those games is still a replacement of sorts. Slime Rancher 2 is available now through Game Pass, yeah. So we read all the ones leaving. New to Game Pass today is Paw Patrol Grand Prix. Yeah. Yeah, very infamous. Yeah, dude. Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. Lost 10 games, but fear not, because you got Paw Patrol Grand Prix, baby. All right, here we go. This is the last article I have, and we're gonna work our way into Fear 3 for the beginning of Scaretober. What a great entry. Shout out to Pinky for helping us figure out how to get Fear 3 fixed. We had such an issue with it last year that we weren't able to run it, and our buddy Pinky, man, was did us a solid, did some research, figured it out for us. Appreciate it, buddy. And it feels really good to be able to get some closure on the Fear series since we were supposed to play this with our long-time community member Tinwin. Play this Fear 3 last year in Scaretober. So we're going to move on to that after this. But if you guys have anything that I haven't hit on previous news segments or today, then let me know and I'll address it before we move on, okay? GameStop reportedly struggling to fulfill pre-orders for games. GameStop is reportedly struggling to fulfill pre-orders for various new games, including major titles like NBA 2K23. GameStop is the biggest physical games retailer in America, as it's really the only major nationwide chain that is dedicated to games. Target, Walmart, and other stores sell games, but they do not have the vast library of titles that sometimes stretch back to different console generations, like GameStop does. For anyone still buying physical games, it's largely your only option unless you can find a local store that can fulfill those same needs. However, over the years, GameStop has encountered all kinds of hurdles as players shift to downloading games over buying discs, and the company has seen drastic changes due to the changing leadership. A major issue that GameStop is reportedly facing right now is the inability to fulfill pre-orders. As reported by Kotaku, numerous GameStop employees are noting that various system issues are leading to stores not having enough copies to give to people that are already paid for the games. One employee told Kotaku that it was shorted on copies of NBA 2K23 and pre-order bonuses didn't arrive on time. Smaller niche games were having an even harder time with pre-orders, given copies were largely only distributed to people who pre-ordered and weren't necessarily sold directly off the shelf. GameStop also grades employees on the amount of pre-orders it issues. So if people are canceling them because the game isn't available on release date, it becomes a problem for everyone. It's unclear if or when this issue will be solved. GameStop employees noted the current solution is to just order a copy of the game to send to the customer's house, but it's likely not intended to be permanent. With games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Gotham Knights, and God of War Ragnarok on the horizon, this could present a massive problem if it's not fixed soon. Yep. All right. Cool, man. Cool. That's what I've got, guys. That's what we're looking at. Explosion. That's what I've got. Thank you, guys. You rock. I appreciate you. To everybody that's part of this community in the first place, you rock. And especially to everybody that was part of the news segment today, thank you very much. We'll be moving on to Fear 3 for day one of Scaretober. Yeah. If you're viewing this content on YouTube later on and you're enjoying what you're seeing in our video gaming news segment, see what you can do about coming and hanging out with myself and the rest of this amazing community when we go live at 6 a.m. CST every single day. We start off all of our streams with video gaming news, all right? Other than that, you guys just stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another, and we will catch everybody tomorrow for October 2nd's edition of Video Gaming News, all right?